In this tutorial, we will start by giving you a quick overview of the GoVenture gameplay from start to finish. This first 5 minutes will help you understand the big picture of how the simulation is played. Then, in the second part of the tutorial, we will review every module in detail so that you have a strong understanding of how to make good business decisions. In GoVenture, you run a business while competing against other businesses that are run by human or computer players. By reading the backstory here, you can see that for this simulation, you are the CEO of a sports drink manufacturing business. The type of business you will run could be different depending on how it is set up by your simulation manager or instructor. As CEO of the business, you have to decide where to invest your company's money in order to reach your own business objectives. In the case of this simulation, you can see that your objective is net profit, as shown here. The business with the highest net profit will win the competition, and all other businesses will be ranked accordingly. Your current ranking is shown here. We are currently ranked number 2 of 3 players. Our net profit is 80% of the leader's net profit. These buildings on the right show the relative positions of the top 4 players. The top player gets the tallest building. Ours is the second highest building, and it looks like we have only a slight edge on the third player. So, at a glance, we can see the situation is pretty competitive. Our simulation advances in business periods. A business period may be a year, a month, a week, or some other time frame. In this simulation, you can see that the business period is months, and it is scheduled to run for 8 periods. Right now, we're at the beginning of month 4. At the beginning of every period, you must decide where to allocate your budget in different business functions of your company. You can navigate to the different business functions by using the orange business menu at the bottom. Right now we are on the company screen. This is where you would name your business and choose your logo. You can also see when the next decision deadline is. The decisions deadline is the date and time by which you must make and save your decisions for the current business period. You might see an actual date and time there, or you might see some other message. Let's move on to the Management screen by clicking the orange Management button. Here on the Management screen you can see the budget you have available to spend. As you allocate your monthly budget to various business functions, those amounts will be posted here. You may be required to keep a strategy journal. You can do that by choosing from these drop-down lists, and you can write or blog about your decision in the Notes section. If you are playing as part of a team, all the team members can see this journal and share or debate ideas here. You can choose how ethically you are going to run your company. Strong ethics can improve your brand equity and provide other benefits, but adds to your operating costs. Use the what-if calculator to help with your financial forecasting. Adjust your numbers to make sure you will be profitable. But keep in mind that a forecasting tool has no effect on your actual business results. Let's move on to the Product Manufacturing screen by clicking on the orange Product Manufacturing button. Here in Product Manufacturing, you will set up the retail selling price of your product. This is the price that the end consumer will pay for your product. Set the price high enough to make a profit, but not so high that you become uncompetitive. Notice that the revenue you will earn is not the full retail selling price, but the amount remaining after the reseller discount is deducted. In the Manufacturing and Distribution box, you must set the number of units that you will manufacture this month. Manufacture exactly as many units as you think you can sell. Look here to see if you have units left over from previous periods. Next up is Product R&D, which we get to by clicking on the orange Product R&D button. Here at Product R&D, you will invest in the features that help to differentiate your product from your competition. In this case, you can invest up to $10,000 per month to improve the taste and/or up to $10,000 per month to improve the health properties of your sports drink. Matching your product features to the features desired by consumers in your market will help you to sell more product. The next department is Sales and Marketing, and now you will be getting familiar with this pattern of going to the orange buttons at the bottom of the screen. The Sales and Marketing function allows you to promote your product and build your brand awareness. You have 3 options for investing in sales and marketing. The first, product line and brand advertising. Second, sales promotion. And the third, price discount advertising. Click View Map to make your sales and marketing investments in the territories you are currently operating in, or even to move into a new territory. Click Advertising to fine-tune your marketing campaigns by choosing the media that are most used in that particular territory. Let's move on to the Human Resources function. The simulation will tell you how many employees you need in each department of your business. You can choose to have more employees than your business requires, but not fewer. So you may need to adjust the employee numbers each period. You also need to set your employee compensation. You can improve productivity and reduce employee turnover by changing the amount that you pay each type of employee, investing in the training of your employees, or offering them benefits from the list found here. Now we have made all the decisions we need to make before we save and advance the simulation to the next period. But let's take a quick look at two other business functions. First, let's look at customers and competitors. Here on the Customers and Competitors screen, you can find market research reports. These reports provide valuable market information that can help you decide which market segments you want to target and to discover what your competitors are up to. Some, like the performance reports, are provided to you free each period. Other reports may cost you money from your budget to purchase. Some reports get updated each period, so you may need to keep purchasing them if you want fresh information. And finally, the Finance screen. There are numerous financial and accounting reports available here to help you closely track your company's financial history. Your simulation may also offer you the option to raise more money by taking out a loan or selling shares in your business. Let's save our decisions by clicking on the green Save button. The decision deadlines and all the saves we have made to date are shown here. Now, we must click the Save Decisions button to save our current decisions. A success message will be displayed, and one of the virtual advisors may offer some feedback for you to consider. You can change your decisions and resave as often as you like, up until the next decision deadline. You can now quit the simulation. Once the decision deadline arrives, GoVenture will use the decisions made by all the players and businesses competing in the same simulation to determine the results for the current period and then automatically advance to the next period. The simulation is advanced to the next period, and now I have to re-enter the simulation. When you join the simulation again, you will see a news report announcing the results, including company revenue, profits, and many other metrics.
Breaking news. The simulation has advanced to the next period. The results are now available to all companies.
Click the check mark on your smartphone to go to the Performance app. You will see your ranking, profit, revenue, and achievements. Click View Report to see a detailed performance report of your business. Use this information and any data you can gather from other reports that you purchase to improve your market knowledge and to fine-tune your strategy for the next period. Your budget is now reset for the new period, and you can repeat the process of investing your money to improve your business results. So that's it. This has been a quick tour of the gameplay. The next part of this tutorial will describe every module in detail so that you have a strong understanding of how to make good business decisions.
Welcome to the GoVenture CEO training video. GoVenture CEO is an educational business simulation where you run a company on your own as a CEO, or on a team as a senior executive. To build a successful business, you must manufacture and market a product line, while competing with other businesses managed by human or computer players. Let's review the interface so you can become familiar with playing GoVenture CEO. Once you have created a logged-in account for GoVenture CEO, You must click play and then choose to join a simulation competition.
You need a simulation number in order to join a competition. A simulation number is provided to you by your simulation manager or instructor. The simulation number connects you with the simulation set up by your instructor. The first time you have the simulation number, you must choose Join New Simulation. Once you enter the simulation number once, it will appear in your list of simulations for you to choose in the future. In this case, we will be joining an existing simulation called GoVenture CEO Tutorial 1, which is a sports drink manufacturing simulation.
This first screen allows you to review the various settings of this particular simulation to make sure you have joined the correct one. You can see the simulation number and the name of the simulation. You can see who is running the business, whether on your own or as a team. If you have teammates, they will appear here once they have joined the simulation. You can also see that you have to choose a company name and logo. And you can see who your competitors are. The competitors will appear as they join the simulation competition and save their first results. After the first period, you will usually see all the competitors listed here. There may also be computer competitors. The simulation manager makes that decision and determines whether the computer-run businesses will play randomly or strategically. Once you confirm that this is the correct simulation competition, click play.
This is the main game interface. The interface looks the same for all players. But it is important to note that because GoVenture CEO is so customizable by the simulation manager, many of the modules you will see in this tutorial may be somewhat different in your actual simulation. Some of the modules may be simplified or completely turned off and hidden. The type of product, the market size, the currency, and over 100 different settings may be different in your simulation. The example you are seeing here is that of a sports drink manufacturing company. Your simulation may be different, but this tutorial will provide you with everything you need to know.
Let's start by reviewing the main components of the interface. Along the top is the progress window. This video is used to enhance the visual design of the interface. It has no specific functionality. To the right is some important information. First, you can see that we are in month 5 of 8. The simulation advances in business periods. The business period can be any duration of time, such as a day, a week, a month, a quarter, or a year. In the simulation, a single period is equal to 1 month in business. And we are currently at the beginning of month 5 of 8.
When you join a new simulation, you will start in period 1. There is a visual bar that shows you how far along you are in the simulation. This simulation is a bit more than halfway through. This window also shows the next decision deadline. Here it says Decision Deadline, Manual. This means the simulation manager will advance the simulation, manually, when the players indicate they are ready.
The way the simulation works is that in each period you will be given a budget that you can invest in the various areas of your business, such as manufacturing, marketing, human resources, and more. Once the simulation advances to the next period, your business decisions, along with the decisions made by competing businesses and players, will be processed together to determine the business results, including sales, revenue, profit, and more. You will then be able to compare your results to the other businesses and players you are competing with.
There are actually 3 ways to advance a simulation from one period to the next. Your simulation will only offer one method, depending on how the simulation manager, or instructor, has set it up.
The first method is Automatic Advance. With Automatic Advance, you will see a specific date and time shown here. You must make and save your decisions by the date and time shown. You save your decisions by clicking the Save button. All players who are competing in the same simulation competition will have the same decision deadline. If you miss this deadline, your business will still operate, but you will have missed an opportunity to update your strategy. You may also lose grade points, depending on how your instructor is grading your participation.
When the decision deadline arrives, all decisions for all businesses and players competing in the same simulation competition will be processed, and the business results determined.
The second way a simulation can be advanced is with Manual Advance. With Manual Advance, Your simulation manager will advance the simulation by clicking a button. Your simulation manager will inform you of the decision deadlines. The third way a simulation can be advanced is by player advance. With player advance, you can advance the simulation to the next period yourself by clicking the green Go button. A player advanced simulation only allows you to compete against computer-run businesses. You will not be competing against other human players.
So, that is the progress window. And, here is your smartphone. We'll review that later.
Down at the bottom right corner of the screen, you will find the simulation menu. Here we can access help, which links to the software user guide and related training videos. You can quit the simulation. And, you can save your business decisions. You must make sure to always save your decisions. You can save as often as you like, but whatever decisions you save last will stick when the decision deadline arrives.
This is the business menu. By clicking each button, you can manage the different areas of your business. They are company, management, product manufacturing, product research and development, sales and marketing, human resources, customers and competitors, and finance. Let's review each of these in detail.
Right now, you are on the company screen. Just above the button, there is some help text that tells us what we should do when we are on this screen. In the main area of the interface, there are two boxes: the company name and logo box. This is where you enter a company name for your business. And this is where you choose a logo. If you are playing on a team, you should consult with your team members before making any decisions.
The management team and objectives box displays the names of the people running this business, followed by your objectives and backstory. Now, let's go to the management screen by clicking on the orange management button.
At the beginning of each period, you are assigned a budget. Your job is to determine how you are going to allocate that budget. Here, you can see that the budget is $86,320. This is actually the sum of three numbers. A monthly allocation of $75,000, which is an amount all players of the simulation get each month. Plus, $11,320 that has been carried forward from the last period. Plus, new funds, which is capital you may be able to raise through equity or debt financing. We will talk more about new funds later. Some of these funds have already been allocated in terms of operational costs and so on. You can allocate the remaining budget to the various areas of your business. You cannot spend more than your budget.
This infographic explains some of the investment options that are available to you. Scroll over the graphic with your mouse to make these descriptive text boxes appear.
The management screen also includes a strategy journal. The strategy journal is a good way to organize your thoughts and identify your plan. Some simulation managers will require you to keep a journal of your decisions. If the strategy journal is required, you will not be able to save your decisions until you have completed it.
There are two parts to the strategy journal. The first is the strategy screen. Here, you must identify your strategic priorities for the current period by choosing an option from each of the drop-downs. The second part is the notes screen. Here, you can enter text to document your thinking. You can also use the notes section to communicate with your teammates asynchronously. It is not like real-time chat, but more of a discussion forum.
Journal entries can be changed and saved up until the decision deadline, at which point the entries get locked and cannot be changed.
It is important to note that the strategy journal is a planning tool only. It does not affect your decisions in the simulation, or the business results. It is up to you to make decisions that are consistent with the strategy that you have identified in the strategy journal. For example, if you set that your strategy for pricing is to be the highest price in the industry, then you need to make pricing decisions that will position you as the highest priced product compared to your competitors. You will not lose points if you are not on target, but it will make running a successful business more difficult if your business decisions do not align with your stated strategy.
This is the what-if calculator. The calculator allows you to experiment with different numbers to see what your potential profitability may be. This is simply a forecasting tool, similar to how you might use a spreadsheet. It has no effect on your actual business results.
This is the ethics module. The ethics module allows you to choose how ethically you want to run your business. Use the slider to choose your setting each period. If you want to run your business with strong ethics, it will cost you more to run that business, but there are some longer-term benefits to doing so. Choosing weaker ethics might save you some money in the short term, but can carry some longer-term consequences.
To find out more about the benefits and consequences of ethics, click the orange Help button. Most modules in the simulation have these orange Help buttons that will reveal detailed information for you to consider. Use these buttons, in addition to the user guide and tutorial videos, to better understand the simulation.
Let's move on to the product manufacturing screen by clicking on the orange product manufacturing button.
There are two important decisions to make here. The first is pricing. Set the price that you want consumers to pay for your product. This is called the retail selling price. You can set any price you want, within the maximum and minimum prices set by the simulation manager.
In some simulations, like this one, there may be a discount associated with the price. In this simulation, it is called a reseller discount, but it could be called a dealer discount, sales commission, or something else. This means that the dealer receives 30% of the retail selling price as their earnings for the sale of the product.
As the manufacturer, your revenue on each product sold is the retail selling price minus the discount, as shown here.
Pricing is a very important business decision. And, one of the most important things you need to know about pricing is that there is no set price that consumers expect to pay for your product. Pricing is completely based on supply and demand and competition.
For example, let's say that you live in a country where the average price for a sports drink is $2.50. This does not necessarily mean that, in the simulation, the average price of a drink should be $2.50. You could set your price much higher or much lower. Whether or not consumers will want to buy your product depends on the business decisions that you and your competitors make in terms of pricing, features, marketing, and more.
When setting your price, make sure to at least cover your cost of goods and related selling expenses.
The second decision you need to make here is manufacturing and distribution. Here, you must decide how many products, or units, you will manufacture this period. To do so, you should forecast how many sales you think you will make this period, and then manufacture exactly that many units.
Here, you can see the cost of manufacturing each item, the cost of transporting each item, and there may be recurring costs related to research and development. This gives you an overall cost per unit, and the total cost to manufacture all of the units.
When choosing how many products to manufacture, be careful not to manufacture too many units, or too few. If you manufacture more units than you sell, then you will tie up your budget and may incur an inventory carrying cost. This represents the cost of depreciation and inventory storage. Depending on the type of product you are selling, you might also risk having the product expire or spoil if it remains unsold after a certain period of time.
At the same time, you do not want to manufacture too few units. If you do not manufacture enough units to meet the market demand, you will miss out on sales. And, those missed sales may go to your competitors.
Forecasting how many units to manufacture is an important and challenging decision.
Let's move on to the product R&D screen by clicking on the orange button.
In business, there are 3 ways to differentiate your product. The first is by price. The second is by your marketing or brand. And the third is by differentiating the features of your product. If you are competing with other businesses in the same market offering similar type of products, then you may want to differentiate your products by investing in research and development, or R&D.
In the case of sports drinks, we have 2 R&D options, taste and health. Other simulations may have up to 4 different R&D options. Some of those options may increase your unit cost.
By investing in select areas of R&D, you can differentiate your product in order to attract consumers who may want to purchase a product with that particular combination of features.
For example, every consumer of sports drinks is probably interested in health benefits. But that does not mean that every consumer is willing to pay extra for health features.
As a manufacturer of sport drinks, you can invest up to $10,000 per period in taste R&D, or health R&D, or both. However, investing in R&D increases your costs, and so you may need to increase the retail price of your sports drink to recover those costs.
Ask yourself, are there enough consumers willing to pay extra for your sports drink? That is something you will have to determine by reviewing the consumer profiles and monitoring your competitors.
You need to decide on a product strategy, and then determine which R&D features will require your investment. If you want to be an industry leader for a particular feature, you will have to invest more money in that feature than any of your competitors. Use the help buttons to find out more about each product feature.
Let's move on to sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing is how you build awareness of your product with consumers. There are 3 types of sales and marketing investments that you can make.
You can invest in product line and brand advertising, which promotes your overall product line and brand to build awareness and sales.
You can invest in sales promotion, which may use in-store displays, contests, and other sales tactics to reach consumers more directly.
And you can invest in price discount advertising, where you can discount the retail selling price to attract buyers with a sale.
When you invest in sales and marketing, you are increasing your brand equity. Your brand equity score is shown here.
Brand equity is comprised of brand awareness and brand loyalty. Brand awareness is a measure of how familiar your brand is to consumers when compared to competing brands.
Brand loyalty is a measure of how pleased consumers are with your product after they have purchased it. Having strong brand loyalty means that consumers are more likely to become repeat customers.
By investing in sales and marketing, you are increasing your overall brand equity in comparison to your competitors. To invest in sales and marketing, you must view the territory map.
This simulation has 3 territories named North, South, and East. Your simulation may have fewer territories and they may be named differently, based on countries, states, provinces, cities, or other regions.
All players start selling into the top territory. If your simulation has more than the one territory, you have the option to enter the other territories at any time. Doing so enables you to make sales in those territories, but it may also increase your costs.
In each territory that you are selling into, you have to identify how much investment you are going to make in product line and brand advertising, sales promotion, and price discount advertising.
You may also have to make advertising decisions.
If the advertising module is enabled in your simulation, you will have to identify how you are going to distribute your marketing dollars based on the 10 media channels available.
To do so, set a percentage for each media type. Altogether they must total 100%. Review the consumer demographics to learn about which media channels might be most effective for reaching consumers in this territory. The effectiveness of your advertising is scored each period, and for each territory. So that is sales, marketing, and advertising. Let's move on to human resources.
Human resources is where you manage your employees. This is very high-level decision-making. You do not manage individual employees. Instead, you manage 5 business functions, or departments, in your business. The business functions are RD for research and development, MF for manufacturing, SM for sales and marketing, OP for operations, and MG for management.
The first decision you need to make for each business function is to choose the number of people you will employ. Here you can see how many employees you currently have in each department. Here, you can see how many employees you need to have. In brackets is the difference between the 2 numbers. In other words, it shows you the number of employees that you need to add or lay off in order to match the number of employees needed.
The number of employees you need in a business function is based on how much money you are investing in that area of your business in this period. For example, if you decide to manufacture many more products this period than in the previous period, you may need to hire more manufacturing employees to do so. If you reduce your sales and marketing investment this period as compared to last period, then you may need fewer employees.
You can keep more employees than you need, but you can never have fewer than the number shown here.
Each time you add or lay off an employee, you may be charged a hiring or severance cost, as shown here.
For each business function, you also have to determine the compensation to be paid to employees for their work. Compensation includes the salary and benefits. The salary shown here is the average salary per employee per period. For example, if the business period of the simulation is months, then the salary shown here is also in months.
Every business that is competing in the same simulation competition will have the same starting salaries. But, you can change your salaries at any time here. And, you can add many benefits to the compensation package.
Benefits are provided in addition to salary. You can choose to include a benefit by clicking the checkbox. Each benefit has a cost associated with it, which is shown here as a percentage of salary.
For example, if the total of salaries for the period is $26,400 and health benefits are 10% of salaries, then the cost of including health benefits will be $2,640 per period. The benefits apply to all employees. They are not based on business function.
You may not be able to afford to offer all benefits, so you may want to consider only offering the benefits that are most desirable to your employees. To discover this information, consider purchasing an HR survey report.
It is important to note that your overall compensation package will be compared to the packages offered by your competitors. Businesses that offer the best compensation packages tend to retain their employees longer. But, it may cost more to do so.
You may also choose to invest in training your employees. Training your employees increases their productivity. The amount of money you invest in a business function is divided equally between all of the employees in the same business function. For example, if you have 2 manufacturing employees and you invest $4,000 to train them, that means you are investing $2,000 per employee.
Increasing the productivity of your employees enables them to do more with less, thereby saving you money in the long term. The amount of training investment needed to increase productivity is something you will have to discover by reading more about the various metrics by clicking the Help button.
You can track the various human resources metrics here.
Morale represents the emotional well-being and attitude employees have towards their work environment, and employer. Morale is affected by compensation, productivity, and company reputation.
Productivity is the labor output of one employee for one period. Productivity is affected by training, turnover rate, and morale.
Turnover rate is the percentage of employees that leave your business and are automatically replaced by new hires each period. Turnover rate is affected by morale.
The combination of these metrics determine your HR score. HR score represents how successful you are at managing employees compared to competing businesses.
You can find out more about this by clicking the Help button. Our next stop is the Customers and Competitors screen.
Customers and Competitors provides access to a variety of research reports about the market, consumers, and your competitors. Market research is critical in helping you make informed decisions.
The reports may be free, or they may cost you money. Click on the More links to learn more about each report to decide whether or not you want to buy it. Once you buy a report, it will appear in the window of Available Reports. Reports that are visible here will always be available to you for the remainder of the simulation. But, as the simulation advances each period, the data in some of the reports will become old. It may be useful to buy the report again to receive updated information.
You can see the period in which a report was purchased next to the name of the report in brackets. This reminds you that the data in the report applies to a specific period, which may no longer be current.
And now, on to the Finance screen.
The Finance section provides detailed financial information about your business. A number of reports are available and they are all free and always up to date.
Reports included a balance sheet, income statement, cash flow, and more. Some or all of these reports may be available in your simulation.
Your simulation may also include the option to raise more money by applying for a loan or selling shares in your business. Raising money increases your budget, allowing you to invest more money in growing your business.
Loans are debt financing.
With a loan, you can borrow money at a set interest rate. Principal is the amount of money you want to borrow. Amortization period is the amount of time and number of payments you will make to repay the loan. Interest is the money you will pay to the lender for the privilege of being given the loan.
Loan payments will be automatically withdrawn each period from your cash account, not your budget. You may choose to fully repay a loan before it is due, in order to save on interest costs. But doing so may incur an early repayment fee.
You can take out as many loans as you like, up to the maximum loan principal.
You can find out more about loans by clicking the help buttons.
Stocks are equity financing where you sell shares in your business.
Each share is sold at the price shown. The share price may change each period based on your cumulative profit, called earnings. You can sell, or issue, as many shares as often as you like, up to the maximum funding shown.
When you sell shares, you will receive the funds in the next period, not the current period, so you have to plan ahead. The total funds will be added to your budget in the next period.
You do not have to repurchase shares or repay the money received from selling shares. However, selling shares of your business will reduce your earnings per share, which may result in a lower share price. You will need to invest the new funds wisely in order to increase your profits and share price.
You can find out more about stocks by clicking the help buttons.
Once you have made your decisions, you must save them. If you do not save, most of your decisions will be lost.
To save your decisions, click the green Save button. Depending on how your simulation is set up, you may see a green Save or a green Go button here. Go ahead and click it.
Your decisions have not yet been saved. You still need to click the Save Decisions Save Now button on this screen to fully save your decisions.
You will receive a message confirming that your save is successful.
You may receive a message from one of your company advisors with helpful information. Be sure to review this message carefully.
You can also confirm that your save has been successful by viewing the save history and decision deadlines here.
Be sure to always save your decisions before each decision deadline. You can change your decisions and save again as often as you like, up until the next decision deadline.
If your simulation is set up to allow you to advance your own simulation, you will see a green Go button here instead of a green Save button. The Go button indicates that you can save your decisions, and you can advance the simulation when you are ready.
If you do not have a Go button on your simulation, then it means your simulation will automatically advance on the date and time of the next decision deadline.
Let's review the smartphone.
The smartphone has 4 apps that you can access by clicking the orange buttons: Your Performance, Your Budget, Industry News, and Messaging.
The Performance app provides a visual summary of how you are doing compared to the other businesses you are competing with. Our current ranking is shown here. We are currently ranked number 1 of 3 players. As the profit leader, our net profit is 100%. The other players will see their profit as a percentage of ours.
These buildings on the right show the relative positions of the top 4 players. The top player gets the tallest building. All the buildings are about the same height, so at a glance, we can see the situation is very competitive.
Click the Help button for full details about the smartphone and the Performance app.
And click View Report to review your detailed performance report.
The Performance report is the most important report for your business, so be sure to review it closely.
The Budget app shows you a summary of your budget and where you have been allocating your funds this period. You may find it convenient to keep this app open while you navigate to different areas of your business.
The News app displays industry news each period. You will see this news each time the simulation advances. You can also review past news by selecting a period, and then clicking the play button on any news item.
The Messaging app displays industry messages and messages sent by other businesses. You can also send messages to all other businesses and players.
Consider sending brief news releases or information that may influence your competitors. When you send a message, it is visible to everyone you are competing with, as well as the simulation manager. Messages are not private and may take a few minutes to appear.
Finally, your smartphone also enables you to communicate with your virtual management team. As you navigate to different areas of your business, you will find that the advisor changes.
You can click the call button to ask for business advice at any time.
This concludes the tutorial. You are now ready to play.
Be sure to review the user guide and other training videos that will help you devise a winning strategy.
Thank you for joining us for this GoVenture CEO tutorial. Good luck and go venture!